is what Nietzsche would call it. But it's just that like I understand exactly what's happening. I understand perfectly that every one of my actions are innumerably beautiful and also a striving toward the will to taste. They're striving towards God. Like no matter what action here, whether the wolf murders me, that wolf was acting in a will to taste. Whether I strangle the wolf, get in a jujitsu pin, you know what I mean, and win, that was me acting in a will to taste to preserve my ideas. But like it's this extreme control. It's and also it's like things like just neuroticism, just not knowing, like I can't even think of an example, but just a time when social cues are extremely specific, and not knowing the direct timing of a social cue is important. Um, this framework also obliterates just small social nuances like that, because what confidence is, or what confidence is just being in control. It's just understanding why you did what you did and being able to say it. Like like to look confident when doing something as simple as pouring water, you have to know metaphysically why you're pouring water, if you know what I'm saying. It's like to be confident, you need to know. You need to know deeply within yourself. You need to understand truly. You need to feel in control of a situation. And it's like that sense of control, that understanding, that confidence, it all emanates from the understanding that every action that you do, everything which you could possibly emanate is just a will to taste. It is just a reach in a direction. You understand that, and you are consuming. You understand the beauty in every reach. You understand that you were a worm rolling in the dirt, and you understand that every roll that you do, every time you scrunch up your body and you move your fluid to the top of your head just so that you can expand farther, a little bit farther, reach for the next pebble in front of you. Every time you do that, that is innumerably beautiful. That is just a will to taste. It is a will to something greater than yourself. It is looking at God. And it's like I don't even know what to make of this yet, as far as metaphysically. Like you were asking, does this mean that like everything tries to work towards something greater than itself? And the only way I can really think of it right now is it's like if you looked at the end of the puzzle, if you looked at the end of the fractal, it all goes to God. Like the end is God, right? The transcendental phenomena at the end of time, as Terence McKenna would call it. But it's like I don't know if I can't yet understand what that would even look like. Like the closest idea I have is that somehow, like we each and every individual civilization, each individual bubble reality, each like secedes, um whatever the Skyrim term for that is, like each society, and I don't even mean just like wakes up. I mean like in like a fantasy way. I mean like builds technology, builds some apparatus. Like I was talking about, like a machine that we turn into that just consumes our universe, like the God machine, the one which consumes and loves eternally, and like its job is to appreciate reality better than we could, and it just expands eternally outwards, like just a self-creating, self-loving machine. Like the idea that everything will eventually fall into that, and that's God. Like I don't even know. Like you start getting into extremely bizarre territories when you look down that barrel that I don't even know how to address yet. I don't know what the answers to those are, but I know what it means in my life, and I know exactly like what it feels like to know that everything is a will to taste, and to know then what, no matter what action comes at me, no matter what person it is, no matter what animal it is, no matter what thing comes at me, I know I understand exactly what my reaction will be and why it is that way and why they did the thing that they did. And it's like it's just understanding. It is just control. It is the classic idea of masculinity. You know what I mean? Not that I even seek masculinity in any way that I don't seek femininity. You know what I mean? But still, it is that the classic ideal of masculinity. That just dominant, controlling archetype. Understanding. I don't know how to explain it any more than that. I'm of course reaching the edge of what we currently have in language, but yeah.
But yeah, so like you're saying the human is made to um be the will to taste, and and what are you saying the about the sorry, I forgot the concept you were just talking about.
It's all good.
The
What I recommend is get a notepad and pen, or just write it down in your notes. Just try to, whenever I'm talking, just write down keywords, because I'm pretty sure we're both going to forget what I'm talking about continuously, because these are those kinds of concepts. You know what I mean? So we're just trying to write down
Yeah.
keywords.
The you were saying that in general, I guess my main point is that I think that the universe is also created with the goal to attain godhood, because in itself it is finitude, and its ultimate
I
fate
see.
is
I see.
going back to the infinite.
Yeah, yeah. It like its striving for perfection is itself. Like it is inherently striving for perfection. It is God striving for perfection. It is God itself. It is God striving for God, Jesus. That, you know what I mean? Like that gets into such language territories that
Yeah,
doesn't even mean anything. But I see exactly what you're saying. Um,
yeah. The universe is God thinking about how to get back into God, and we are the conduits that must take that role.
yeah, 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 yeah. That is a great way to put it. Um, yeah, and it's just like the framework, the new framework, which is just in relation to divine taste. It is just that feeling, that like complete and total understanding, love of fate. Just god
Love of
damn.
fate, you're saying?
As one of many concepts. Yeah, love of fate.
Yeah, because that isn't that amor fati.
Yeah, more fati. Yeah,
Yeah, that's a cool one. I like that one.
yeah.
That's one that I think like we should probably make a video on. That's just such a simple
Well,
one,
okay, okay.
and it
Already,
obviously means so much.
already. Our first video, I already know. Our first video, the one we're making like tomorrow or the next day or whatever. We're doing a fucking. We're starting a breakdown on Thus Spoke Zarathustra. We're gonna go. We're gonna listen to it, and we're going to each individual chapter, which they're extremely small. They're only like 10 minutes. Each individual chapter, we're gonna do our own breakdown, and we're gonna put our metaphysics in relation to that.
That sounds dope.
That's a great starting video, because now that I feel like I understand Nietzsche completely. I feel like, well, great. Now he'll be anyone else who understands Nietzsche will now be able to understand my metaphysics, which means they'll be able to understand everything else that I'm talking about.
No wonder I fear though, like the Nietzschean community, which
I will body them.
got a decent handful of intellectuals and half atheist redditors,
Yeah.
when they see that, it's going to be different than their average
Oh yeah, yeah.
Nietzschean,
Oh yeah.
video. So that we'll have to consider that.
It will be, but then I'll body them. And see, like, and like that's the difference. Before I would have had to have been like, okay, so like they're Nietzscheans, and now I'm gonna have to consider, okay, well, so then God is like love, and like, so you know what I mean? Like I would have had to consider all these fucking variables, and now it's literally just like what the way Nietzsche felt. That just like righteous, vicious, fucking, oh, I just want to fucking tear this everything which is currently been built. I want to tear it to fucking shreds. I want these people to fucking see every fucking thought in your head, that rapping at your skull that's telling you to reach for something better. It's not telling you to work your fucking 9 to 5 job. Get up off your fucking ass and strive towards the will to taste. Strive for something fucking greater than yourself. You know what I mean? Like that just the drive, the pure unbridled justice, like that action. You know what I mean? That is the interdimensional super soldier on like the greatest possible domain, like the perfect understanding of why to move forward. Move Here's why you should move forward. Here's how to move forward. I mean, it's every single thing that I've ever wanted in one fucking concept. It
That
is.
would, that would be a very very simple, just I don't know, slogan slash movement slash just thing to capitalize on, is just move forward.
Yeah.
Um, the simple concept of that person needs to move forward.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. And like the thing is like that right there. That is what Nietzsche was trying to say with will to power. So he was German, so will to power doesn't sound very good in English. Like now I get what
Hmm.
he was trying to say, but like will to power is not the right fucking word for that. And of course, it may have been maybe in German he fucking nailed it. Who knows? Um, but he didn't over here. But yeah, like yeah, man, will to taste. Jesus, I'm gonna have to go back and we're obviously gonna have to go back and then fucking make whole videos and scripts and shit. I'll make sure that. But yeah, there's a lot of fucking subcontext there. Let's see. Did I go over how the Übermensch is? I mean, yeah, the Übermensch is just that concept. It is this is the Übermensch except stripped of the idea of man. Instead of striving for the divine man, it's just striving for the divine, striving for God directly. That's what Übermensch always was, anyways.
Hmm. Just
It really is just one thing. It is now finally at the level where it's just be, just be. It's like the perfect finale, which is what I wanted this one to be, into just like now it's time to get off your ass and make some fucking videos. You know what I mean? It's like we transition into what we were working on. You know what I mean? The left brain, and now we're transitioning into the right brain, the being, the creating. Um,
hmm.
let's see. I thought of a better way to say that while I was on sub one. See if I can remember that. It is very interesting, this perspective of like complete detachment from every time the ego thinks, like the understanding now of what the ego is, because it's like it's just such a better description than what we ever had before. Where before it was just like, oh yeah, you get a person, and like each individual nuance had its own like you had to understand it separately of what that meant metaphysically, and it's like now it is man, I forgot what I said. What I was saying before. The way you look at every single left brain like a sacrifice, where like every time your mind thinks, you no longer even look at it as it's always just immediately um just like an echo of perfection. Like it's very weird. I don't know how to explain it. That's why it feels so much like insanity, because it's like your brain like especially for me, when I'm on sub 1, it can start doing extreme like just emotional backflips. Like my brain will say the same thing, but it'll go back and forth between saying it with like just every emotion. I mean, I guess it's what it comes down to when I used to say like through death, through the understanding of death, you can feel every emotion, and it's the same thing, especially through God. God is that to the millionth degree, where it's like through understanding God, you can feel every emotion. You can understand exactly what you are in God, and you could see that as the worst thing to ever possibly happen to anyone. You're stuck eternally in infinite different little people's lives. You're stuck in all of these little horrible places, or you could look at it as I'm stuck in all of these tremendous little super detailed simulations. How fantastic! You know what I mean? It's just like the different ways you could possibly view it. Um, yeah. Thank God I'm recording. Thank. Okay. So left brain and mania. So every single time you think from this perspective, you're looking at it as not you. And so every time you think, you can see why you're thinking. You can understand exactly what pieces are moving, and you can understand metaphysically what's happening with this thought, this thing. It's just reaching. It wants you to reach outwards towards God. It wants you to become better, right? But what that feels like during sub one can be what feels like mania. It feels like these just complete and total like bouts of emotion um that are so extreme and so variable. They'll switch moment to moment. And it just I don't know. I don't know. I don't really know what the point to that is, other than just what it feels like. It's very strange. You can feel extremely manic, um, but it's just because you aren't even your thoughts anymore. Each thought is just to reach towards a value, as Nietzsche would have said. Yeah, this Nietzsche guy sure had something fucking going for him. That's for damn sure. What a fucking genius. Jesus, writing thus by the
there.
sea
So like
breeze.
the talk about the emotion, the bout of emotion, like the strike of emotion.
Uh, just um, just that like that it's extreme and it fluctuates, and that like that is you, right? That is your ego, and it's like the point of the ego. For instance, it's like just to explain it with a social interaction. Earlier, when I was speaking on Voxer, and my language circuits were completely and totally fucking failing. It's like I didn't want to do that, specifically because of that exact thing happening. Like I expect it. I knew it's like I need to start speaking about this. I need to try to speak about this because there are valuable insights here. However, I know that speaking is going to be this hellish fucking arrangement where I'm arguing with my own words and I'm fucking eating them in my mouth 50% of the time. And Nietzsche had some great fucking quotes on this. Good dude, he's great quotes on fucking everything. But and the quotes go like basically, you know what I mean? And if I'm stuttering, I'm at least stuttering to reach towards God, basically is what he was trying to say. Where he's like, and if I am stuttering, if I am spluttering, my words come out clearer than yours ever could. You know what I mean? Is basically what he's trying to say. It's like, you know what I mean? I'm spluttering, but I'm reaching towards the truth. Um,
Yeah,
uh, but
yeah.
uh,
Like
but
I'm rambling, but I'm rambling about eternity and God. So
the most important possible concept is much better than being you and speaking clearly about shit. Um, but that feeling, right, um having so yeah, that feeling of me recording those voice messages and it being shit at the time and it being genuinely, to me, it's like it was a bit embarrassing because it's just like like my language just not fucking function. It's aggravating, it's frustrating. It's like I didn't want to do it for those exact reasons. But when you understand this, you understand that it's like the point of the ego isn't to be the ego. Like, in other words, you can be laughed at because what you are is a reach towards something greater. I mean, it really, that every single thing, every single why can always come back down to because you were a reach for something greater, or in other words, because of divine taste, because of the ultimate taste, which everyone is reaching towards. Every single little thing can be just directed all towards back towards that one single thing. I mean,
it'd be pretty cool to list
go ahead.
in all the ways the average person in their daily life would be striving towards God, and then talk about that and how it's like, is this something you should be doing, or how can you replace it with something much more
But it's like,
efficient?
dude, I
You know,
mean, literally, I don't know how to explain it other than this, where it's like the difference between being an anxious person and being an extremely fucking confident person is one simple thing: how neurotic you are. In other words, right? Okay, if I'm pouring a glass of water, right? Am I thinking, oh man, I hope I'm pouring this glass of water well. Oh, I hope everyone doesn't think I'm a faggot, a water pouring faggot. If you're thinking that, right, that's the worst possible thing you could possibly be doing. Whereas if you're pouring it, you're thinking, I am God. I am pouring this divine water into my divine chalice to drink for the greater man, the man who comes after
for
me.
nourishment, for
Yeah,
hydration.
exactly. For everything beyond myself, for the infinite. If I'm drinking, if I'm toasting to God, you know what I mean? In every action, if every single time I move my fucking feet, it's a toast to God, you know what I mean? Then I'm so much more of a confident person than I was before. Now I'm uber confident. I'm beyond confident. Where before, you know what I mean? Like even for me personally, it's like I did used to be neurotic, and it's like this is the obliteration of any sort of neuroticism. It is the goal. Like I don't know how to explain this specific concept where it's like the difference between anxious people and non-anxious people is just those who know why they do, and you can be a complete fucking idiot and know. Like, in other words, these these the same people, like, in other words, you can be complete, you can know, even though all you know is football, right? You can be a complete fucking airhead, but as long as you have football and you're good at football, and at the end of the day, the ladies like it when I play ball, you know what I mean? And it's like that's all you know, then it's like you can be confident in that. That can be enough. You can just from that one insight, from that one piece of your life, that one thing that you're good at, you can know, and you know where you are. You know your place in the world is what it comes down to. That is what knowing is, and it's like I know my fucking place, not just in the world. I know my place in the goddamn cosmos, and it's like I don't know how to explain it. It is another form of confidence, and it's like it's it's that exact thing, but it goes so far outside of confidence. It goes into it seeps into the cracks of every fucking little thing, every little thing. What were you saying?
I think that's most people's problems, that they have absolutely no idea what's going on at all, and having some sort of map or some
that, that,
foundation.
that is, it sounds so funny, but it is so true. Just the way you said. I think the problem is everybody has absolutely no idea what's going on at all. It's like, yeah, that definitely hits the nail
I
on the
can't
head.
hear you.
Oh, you can't? Oh, that's fucking bizarre. I don't know. Oh, I can hear you out of my headphones, but the mic isn't connected. But anyways, it was funny the way that you said the problem with people is they just don't have any fucking idea what's going on. Is basically, I can't remember your direct words, but it was very funny at the time. However, what were you saying?
Sorry, my earbuds were disconnected.
Oh, good.
Anyways, uh, what was I saying? Something about.
I can go back and check. Hold on. That I think the problem. I'm paraphrasing you here. I think the problem is that people don't have any idea what's going on, and what they
Yes.
lack is a foundation. Anyways, go ahead.
So what was funny about that?
Um, I have it on recording if you want to hear it, but it was the way you specifically said. So the problem with people is that they have no fucking idea what's going on. Is basically what you said. Like you're basically like, I think the problem is that everyone's brain fuck retarded. You know what I mean? Is basically how it came
Essentially,
off.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, it is that simple. But it is, but complex in the idea that what they want is obviously God, and they cannot get that because nothing they do in their life and nothing that they can, the odds of someone actively getting true might and power of God in their life is not very likely in this world. And yet, every single thing they do in their life is still towards that purpose. But specifically, that sense of lostness or being in this world without any idea of what this world is, why you're a human, why this world exists, what you're doing here, what are humans
Okay,
supposed to
literally.
do.
So this is something which I was thinking about extensively. Every single time your left brain speaks, it's always doing one thing. It's asking why, all the fucking time. It's jabbering. It's always asking the same fucking question over and over again. Just why, and the answer every single time. The answer to any why would you could possibly ever fucking dream up in the next 10 quadrillion years is always going to be solved by the answer an ego is to taste. That answers every single why. Every single time you think, the answer is always an ego is to taste. Every single why, every time you're thinking about anything, an ego is to taste basically is making fun of you for thinking in the first place. It's like you're thinking right now, this thinking that you're doing, that is just to be tasted. This is just something in relation to God. You know what I mean? Like I don't even know how to explain that. God damn.
I was thinking, and it ties pretty well into our previous idea of Zix, Azix, and Exazix, where you're eating something, so you're taking that one thing, and then you're chewing it around, and almost you're making it multiple things in your mouth. So it's kind of like, I don't know if we want to use that metaphor exactly, but it kind of works.
Let me think about that. Explain what you mean a little bit more.
Um,
You were
so
talking about.
we
Go ahead.
So we the Zix divide the Azix, and we are eating the textures that we're given. And in doing so, we take one thing, one great thing, and divide it up into our left brain reality that we live in. And that is analogized in the metaphor as when you take one piece of something, when you take
Yeah, yeah,
one
I see.
food
And
and you eat it and you turn it into mush and you multiply and you divide it in your mouth and you digest it, is you're taking that one thing and breaking it down into many
yeah,
to
yeah,
eat it.
and then basically the framework is the exact opposite. You're trying to take yourself up the totem pole. You're trying to escape Zik.
Yeah.
Fascinating. Yeah, that is a really fucking good way to look at it. Yeah. How interesting. Yeah, fuck. It literally just look at it this way. If you're God, you're trying to get your farthest way into Zix, and if you're Zix, you're trying to get your way the farthest into God. You know what I mean? It's just like it is just
Yeah.
that's what infinite difference comes from. Right there. That just black hole, white hole. One thing which creates infinitely, one thing which eats indefinitely. And they will go at each
And
other
it's like and it's
constantly.
like and then it's like, why did it create? Because it wanted to get back to itself in the first place.
Yeah. Jesus. Well, I mean, we just did philosophy. There's philosophy wrapped up. Where are we tackling next?
Mhm.
Oh my
Off
God.
to God.
Yeah. Fucking take his head. Um. Good lord. Well, yeah. I mean, I suppose I'll wrap it up here. My entire body is fucking sore, dude. Jesus, I worked so fucking hard. I worked so fucking hard for this
What'd you
discovery, and it
do?
paid off tenfold. Just days and days of labor, of of like yesterday, just just days of literally 15-minute breaks, 30-minute breaks of the entire day. That's what I got. That's the segment I got to break, and just like riding little tiny dirt bikes when you're smashing your feet into rocks for like 16 hours. And like sleeping the last 2 days, sleeping for fucking 6 hours. And like I had to mow Nan and Papa's grass yesterday. And 2 different days I had to help put up a fucking fence for other grandparents. It's just like several different forms of just labor in every capacity. And then today, of course, waking up to do sub one at 8:30 a.m. after 2 days in a row of no sleep and also laborious work to today do sub one, um,
Yeah,
and get up to
that's
all the
intense.
shenanigans, which that includes, and also like hours of walking today, as well as biking. It probably an interesting thing where the chain occasionally fell off the bike, the small bike, and if you were riding it, the chain would be very hot. So you'd need to wait a minute to let the chain cool down before you put it back on. And it was very interesting because basically every single time that the chain fell off, I just took it as like a signal to just be like, okay, I'm walking for an hour now. You know what I mean? She's like, oh, okay, well, let me just leave you behind. Goodbye. And just start walking as soon as it happened. And it happened like 3 times. And it was interesting because it was just like, I'm just on a bike. And then all of a sudden I get the signal. It's like, oh, okay, goodbye, bike. See you later. Um, and it just was
I missed the
perfect.
first part of what you said. Some, like, earbuds. What'd you say?
It was that the chain would pop off. So it was like
Oh,
intermittently, I would just get like a signal, which is like, oh, okay, you're walking now, buddy. You gotta walk the next hour. Because what how it would work is the chain would be very hot from that I was riding, and the chain built a bunch of friction and heat and stuff. So I would need to wait for it to cool down before I could put the chain back on. So it made it where like there was just like an hour of walking, and then another 2 hours of bike, and then an hour of walking, and then 2 hours of bike. It just made for like an
and that was
interesting,
on sub one.
yeah, it made for an interesting like breakup dynamic. There's
Mm-hmm.
segments and shit. But but
Did you
yeah,
get in the pool?
I did. Yeah, it wasn't as good as last time. I was just so metaphysical on this one. You know what I mean? It was just I couldn't even appreciate the pool. I was so deep in thought. Nowhere
Well,
near as
that's why I really enjoyed getting on the float thing and just kind of laying it and then pondering on metaphysics from there. Not really like swimming or walking around in the pool, but just kind of floating in the pool.
I
That's what I
remember
like.
what I did, and it felt so fucking good. Was just whenever I was just like blowing bubbles and moving the way whenever you were here, I could just like put in inputs. Like I could just understand exactly what God would want to do with my body. Like I could just fall backwards and just fall in the most elaborate ways. And it's like there was no thought behind it. It was just I mean it was just to reach for the divine taste. You know what I mean? Like I don't know how to explain it. It was just yeah, what if truth was a woman? God damn, guy's good, dude. Every time I think now, it's always like, oh man, this guy's got a fucking quote for this. Um, damn, damn, yeah. Yeah, going through Thus Spoke, just going through all of Nietzsche's works and then making it where it's like there's an actual philosophical foundation jumping in point. That's gonna be so fucking useful. Okay,
Imagine
well,
giving
go
Nietzsche
ahead.
sub one.
Yeah, fucking shit. Yeah, he would go insane.